You're not sick, everybody. Nobody's sick. You have been poisoned, okay?
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
2 types of poisoning in the world, okay? You have radiation, which is electromagnetic, microwaves, 5G, things like that. And then you have chemical poisoning, which is what we've been talking about, the forever chemicals, heavy metals, man-made, unnatural, biohazardous toxins, environmental pollutants. And guess what? There's a broad solution. And you don't have to wake up super early and do uncomfortable workouts. You don't have to implement anything new in your life. But after taking MasterPeace, you're probably going to feel so good you're going to.
In today's busy world, how can we find the inspiration, knowledge, and energy to live a healthy and empowered life? If we balance and harmonize our mind, exercise our body, live according to the laws of nature, and connect to spirit, can we find a way to heal, become our authentic self, and live our purpose with love? I am your hostess, Amy Fournier, and welcome back to Awakening Aphrodite. Did you know I have an e-store? That's right. I have put together all of my favorite things that I use every day. Things like my red light therapy, the biogeometry jewelry and products, Pharaoh skincare, Sebin Solis skincare, my favorite unbelievably powerful, gorgeous Vogel cut crystals, my water filter, all my supplements, all that stuff and more. These are things I use every single day and I believe so much in that I want to help get them out in the world and share them with you. So the best part is you get coupon codes if you want to try these products yourself and experience how they work and how they're magically important. Then use my coupon codes because you'll save some money. And you know what else? It's a great way to support me too. I get a small commission on some of these items because I'm bringing them to you. So it's a triple win. And these beautiful companies get out there in the world, which they need to do. We need to be part of the solution, everybody. Focus on the things that we can do. And these are the things we can do by drinking clean filtered water and eating good food and getting to sleep and having harmonizing music to help control our frequencies. All these things are positive things that we can do every single day because the solutions and the world that we want to create comes from us, our everyday choices, the things that we do, we listen to, we say, we expose ourselves to, and we feel. And that's what this show's about, helping you dial all that in, get that lifestyle dialed in, mind, body, and spirit. So thank you for supporting me and supporting the items on my e-store. Now let's get to the show. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I know you know this show is about helping you to be healthy and fit in mind, body, and spirit. And we are going to talk today about the body, but also related to the spirit, because we're going to talk about something extremely important in this day and age. If you want to be healthy and just have everything work right, that's detoxification. How's it going for you? Is your body able to detoxify properly? And does it even really need to? Do you get that covered? Well, I got to tell you something. Are you sure? Because you might not be aware of all the toxins that our bodies are dealing with all the time. In this modern day and age, we are getting bombarded. But look, don't despair. I am committed to bringing you good news and solutions. That is the mission of this show. So although we might hit you with the hard stuff, and sometimes it's hard to hear, and yeah, I get it. It can be overwhelming. I have my moments of complete breakdown too, of like, oh my God, it's too much, overwhelming. But there's always a solution, and we have to stay focused on what it is that we want, always, not focused on the problem. So today, we're bringing you the detox solution. The solution to pollution is dilution. And this amazing product that I've talked about before called MasterPeace. I'm so grateful to Sarah Westall, the amazing one and only Sarah Westall, who has a fabulous podcast, if you're not aware, called Business Game Changers. I've learned so much from her. Her guests are just some of the best in the world. And I heard about this product called MasterPeace with my guest of today, Matthew Hazen, who is the creator of it. And I tried it, and you know what? I got to tell you, I felt a difference. I felt a difference within a couple of days. I definitely had kind of like that hazy fog. Like, I mean, I'm healthy and fit, right? I mean, this is what I do for a living, what I've done most of my, basically almost all of my life at this point. But it's been hard the last few years. And I've been wondering, like, all the stuff that I kind of do, it's like, it's working, but it wasn't working on the same level. It was like this haze of like something kind of keeping things kind of like governed, you know, like kind of in check a little bit. And I found MasterPeace, and it couldn't be simpler, you guys. I mean, can you take a couple drops in your mouth a couple times a day? Like, that's it. And this thing goes to town. I felt a difference in my energy as well as my skin, and most definitely in my dreams, which we're going to talk about in this show. Like, why did that happen? So I have a question for you. Are you dreaming? Do you remember your dreams at least most nights? Maybe not every night, but regularly. Do you remember dreams? And how about your intuition? Is it working well? Do you have trouble being in touch with your intuition? And how is your detoxification pathways? Do you know that you have like 8 of them? You might see or read that you have 3, and some experts say 5, but I believe you have 8. And by the way, you want to know what they are? Because you might want to know how your body works, right? Yeah. You have your liver, your colon, your kidneys, your lymphatic system, your lungs, your skin, and your blood, and I'm going to add your mind, your thoughts. We have to detoxify the stinking thinking, or else we will never be healthy and fit. So those 8 detoxification pathways have to be clear. They have to be like a clear channel, like visualize a river or a brook or a stream flowing through the forest or uncharted grounds, and it's pure, and you could actually drink that water as opposed to like a muddy swamp or something that's polluted, right? Well, our bodies are doing our best to detoxify and do their job, but they need help because they're dealing with chemicals that have never been seen before. They are human made, and it's not designed to work that way. Plus, there's just so many of them. We're getting bombarded from the air and the chemtrails and our home cleaning supplies. If you wear makeup, lotions, shampoo, if you color your hair, the carpets on the floor, the paints on the wall, I mean, the pesticides in the foods, it's a big deal that our bodies, our poor bodies, are not designed to handle. So we need a little help, and I've got an answer for you. I can't wait for you to hear this episode. It is so important. And take that from someone who's been an expert in health and wellness for almost 4 decades, that everybody needs this. I give it to my dogs, for God's sake. Well, I don't know. You'll have to ask them if they feel a difference, but I can tell you they're healthy as all heck. So, my guest today, Matthew Hazen, he is the creator of this product. It's new technology, but it's really simple. It's made with 2 natural ingredients that not only bind the toxins and take them out of your body, but then they deliver in super high nutrition. And I'll let him tell you what those 2 products are. So please enjoy the episode. And if you want to check out MasterPeace and try it for yourself, you definitely have to let me know about it. But you can find it on my website, eStore, like all my favorite products that I use every day that I feel like the world needs to know. You know, when you see a good movie or you read a good book, you got to tell people about it. Well, that's what I have my eStore for. So you can get your MasterPeace at amyfournier.com. Go to the store page, the recommended products, and just scroll down and you'll find MasterPeace. Click that link. They've got an amazing website. It's got all the science right there. And you can order it right there, and they'll send it right to your house. Give it to your kids. Give it to your pets. Give it to your friends. And let's make the world a better place together. Enjoy this show with Matthew Hazen. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Today I have my guest Matthew Hazen here from the amazing company Human Consciousness Support. And like I said in the intro, my new passionate love affair with MasterPeace Detox product. Matt, welcome to the show.
Hi, Amy. It's so good to be here. And thanks for providing everybody a platform of the truth and where they can learn how to best empower their health and their highest level of being.
Wow, right on. And as everybody knows, this show, I mean, I've been a health and wellness expert for many decades now. So we all know how important detoxification is. And in wow, current life, it's not easy to do. What worries me is, there's so many things in our current culture that aren't natural to the body. We have natural detoxification pathways. We all know, like the liver and the kidneys and the skin and all this stuff. It's important to drink water, and we hear all these things. But what I'd love for you to help educate us on is how the body never recognized or wasn't designed to handle and process so much
Yeah,
of the stuff that's happening right now. Not only these artificially made, not human organic chemicals and things, but the volume, right? Which is like, you pick your avenue from where we're getting like onslaughted.
yeah,
So, can you start with just some basic education on health and wellness, Matthew, as to your knowledge as to
absolutely. Yeah.
what's happening? How does the detoxification work to help us be a little bit healthier?
And let's just try to keep it as simple as we can, and we'll do broad strokes also. And so, whatever your beliefs are, creator, God, however it works out for you, whatever made our beautiful cosmos, our ecosystem, our bodies, and all living creatures and things, they did it right the first time. And so, our health, we would be thriving till we die, just like wild animals do. You never look at an animal and say, "Oh, that animal looks old." They just go like crazy until they don't. And not us, humans get to be about 25. Now we just start going off the hill when it comes to our health. So our bodies work wonderful if they hadn't been poisoned. And so most people are very unaware of certain simple truths. At the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, hundreds of years ago, right? They started having these steamboat engines, and they started having all these petrol gases and all these man-made chemicals. Those chemicals, they are all classified in a fancy little word called forever chemicals. Why are they called forever chemicals? Good question. Because they're there forever. So although we look at those refineries outside and we see the smokestack and all the stuff goes and then it kind of disappears and we say, oh, okay, well, that's just that thing. I wonder what they manufacture. Well, the byproduct of whatever they manufacture is forever in our ecosystem. It's forever in our air. It's forever in our water. It's forever going to be hitting our crop, where our crops are at, and everything. And so those are ever accumulating. Now it's to the point where we can look around our world. We can look at the forest. We can look at nature, and we can definitely look at our human health. And we are in a worldwide health epidemic. The reason for that is because we have all these man-made, unnatural, biohazardous toxins everywhere that can't be digested or metabolized by our bodies. They're stuck in there. And we're seeing our health now. Our health as a race is, not race, as a species, is so worse than it was just 20 years ago. And now we're going to move into another big point. Why has it gotten worse, right? It's not just the ever accumulating toxins, but we've worked into what they call nanotechnology. So everything in our corporations, our billion-dollar corporations that make our herbicides, our pesticides, our gasoline, you name it, okay? They turned, they were getting regulated to some extent. Actually, they were trying to avoid little people coming in. And so they regulate everything and they say, okay, well, you got to have this filter and that filter. You got to have a Cadillac converter for your car. You got to have this type of filtration system for ethanol plants. Now, what those systems were, they didn't get rid of forever chemicals. You can't get rid of forever chemicals. And MasterPeace gets them out of the body, which we're going to be talking about the product in a little bit, but they're not out of the ecosystem. They're just neutralized because all of this stuff that we're going to be talking about that's bad for our health, it's all reliant upon its electromagnetic energy. Okay, we're electrical beings. The world is an electrical thing. We're not taught the way we should how electromagnetism runs everything. So we run into a world now where we have nanometer sized. So we no longer have microscopic toxins. They're thousands of times smaller than that. Why is that important? Because now they're so small that they don't just get into your body, they get into the cells of your body. They get into the cells of the crops. They get into the cells of things. and which means they're intracellular. What does that mean? That means we have a whole new level of toxicity that we're witnessing that they didn't plan on, or if they did plan on, they knew it was going to be as bad as it is now. And now we have nanometer sized toxins from the nanotechnology, as well as the micrometer sized toxins, which we've already had. And so now we're in a world where redefining our health, redefining what's important in our lives is going to take a whole new set of precedents for us to probably survive. The reason why I say such a crazy statement like that is because the guy who may run the world, his name is Klaus Schwab. He certainly runs all the regulatory bodies and WHO and CDC and FDA, you name it. They respond to the governments. Governments are all answering to the World Economic Forum. He doesn't have to just say things to people. He doesn't have to sell them on stuff. So it appears with what we're looking at, that there's been a technological system that has been developed for over 4 decades at least. They've spent at least who knows how many trillions of dollars and all their gain of function labs and everything preparing. And he just announced 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now, that at the World Economic Forum, that in 2025, 6 billion people will die. Isn't that terrible? I would never say that on your show or any other show out there. And fear into people, which does nothing but make the situation worse, even if the situation is as dire as what I just said it is, without the solution. So today I'm going to really want us to focus on the solution to this, how we know it's the solution, the science behind it, and the good news and implications it means, so that we don't just have to have false hope. We actually have something that has been the biggest labor of love ever created for humanity. It was created so that you didn't, and the very first thing that it was done, we got to keep this super affordable, because there's a lot of people out there that didn't win the lottery yesterday. And if you're making something for mankind and to help all of humanity, it has to be affordable for all of humanity. And when it isn't affordable for humanity, like it isn't for the country of Peru, then what we do is we donate it to them. Why? Because MasterPeace was created to help the world, to help mankind. We have some serious acute emergencies going on in our world. And so I know that we're going to have to go over a lot and unpack a lot today, but I'm excited to do that, because people are going to walk away from this show here with a new level of empowerment for their own health, and give them a lot of reason to know that it's going to take all of us too. There's no one coming to save you but the person you're looking at in the mirror. And you're going to have to do a little bit of the work yourself, because I've read the patents. I've also done so many air sample tests, it's not even funny. I have hundreds of soil sample tests here. Human Consciousness Support is also the only place, first and only company underneath third-party lab testing to actually test subjects in a controlled study, which was our initial pilot study, and took their blood and tested it for things like graphene oxide, glyphosate, fluoride, chlorine, microplastics, heavy metals, every single heavy metal we tested for. And then we put MasterPeace. We made MasterPeace face, and we were loud about it. I did videos all the time, and I said, if our results don't come back from this study, I'm not going to be selling snake oil. We'll hang it up. I told it to everywhere we had to go. And when we came back and we had an antidote and we had a solution to the pollution, then you've seen all these high-level experts and scientists, people that are completely fearless and incorruptible, and they're completely not easy. You can't buy these people up. These are people that won't accept money, such as Dr. Robert Young and many others that I work with. They just want to get the truth out and help humanity. So we have all the science to back us up. Any type of what I call quantitative, which is measurable analysis, things that can't be made up or discussed with our beliefs and assumptions, are I'm an expert, so you better believe me, because we can see how that's kind of worked for humanity, listening to the experts, right? So I think I just said a whole lot. Maybe I'll let you take that and see which direction we should go.
No, you sure did. And I've seen the holistic health industry morph between, I'm all about the fundamentals, the basics. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's easy. Or should I say it's simple? It doesn't always feel easy to do, but it's simple to do, right? Being really healthy is simple. Like drink clean water, get your feet on the ground, rest, sleep. It's not complicated, but it can be difficult in today's day and age. I've seen the industry really morph and evolve, trying to keep up with this complete exponential growth of our cerebral hemisphere and our cognitive abilities and the technology, and even our spirituality is really on the next level in many regards, as far as humanity in general, universally. But because of that, I feel like our body kind of is still a little bit in the cave people era. A little, our DNA, it takes thousands of years to morph, like, a nanometer, compared to other aspects of humanity. So our body just can't handle all of these onslaughts. And maybe if we could just go through a few for people just to really hear, other than some of the ones you listed, so we've got toxins in the food, right? Even now, unfortunately, the term organic is not what we think it is. And this is another pet peeve, Matthew, is that, and you alluded to it by saying how the scientists and the scientific studies that you use don't have ulterior motives, and they do have integrity, unlike maybe some others that don't, and that's just reality. And we have to know that the labels, they can be misleading, and they can be intentionally misleading, right? And even like organic and certain words that are used. So we have to be careful of our food supply, because we've heard of pesticides and herbicides and chemicals, and then we've heard of chemtrails and spraying aluminum and barium from the sky down on all of us. It's in the rainwater. It's in newborns. It's in placentas. I mean,
Can I give a simple thing? I'm so sorry. I know I just cut you off, Amy. These are soil sample tests that come from the largest organic distributor of farming supplies in America. And what I mean by this is 4,500 farm fields in America every year that practice organic practices take their soil sample and send it to him. He looks at everything that's on them, which is aluminum, boron, ammonium, nitrate, estimated nitrogen release, zinc, copper, manganese, all of it. And from there, he devises the organic way to give them farm fields. Okay. A lot of these people are Amish or Mennonite, which means for over 100 years, their families have never, ever placed any type of conventional chemicals on the land. So it should be virgin land. Right. Now, every year when they do soil sample tests, it is coming back what he equals, because they take a 6-inch by 6-inch by 6-inch sample. Depending on the amount, they know how much pounds it would be per acre of something. And so pounds per acre of aluminum that shows up on organic farm fields, which have never been sprayed with anything chemicals, equals in our world today in America, should be the same for everywhere, 1,000 to 2,500 pounds of nanometer-sized aluminum per acre. I am not a fear point person. I'm a person who goes by analysis. I'm a self-taught scientist.
That's not normal. Like, right. That is not like organically
I'm very
natural.
Logical. Yeah. A lot of people do not like to talk to me too much because I go by facts. I don't like to go by anything I can't prove, because I might veer my whole thinking towards something that is actually not true. And then that's a bunch of wasted time. So when we're looking at these soil reports that are done by Proactive Agriculture at Logan Labs, LLC, which is a very common lab.
Yes, sure. Logan Labs. Yep.
And to see their aluminum at 611, which means 1,222 pounds per this farm field. And this farm field would have 1,730 pounds. And then I can just go through this whole list because he gives them to me. Why? Wow. Because he knows what MasterPeace is going to do for people.
Sure.
His whole family's on MasterPeace. Yeah. And so I'm sorry I cut you off, but I wanted to make that point so people understand.
So great. It's so, I mean, this is the hard evidence right there.
Yes. We also have a big thing that we have got to get out there right now, that every listener has to get this in their head. Yes, COVID shots were absolutely terrible. There's not an ingredient in there that's, if you gave your child any one of the many ingredients that's in a COVID shot, you'd be arrested for child abuse. But they can put it all together and say it's saving the world. That's another story. Now, whether you've gotten that shot, whether you live in this country, that country, no matter how healthy, organic, all that, that you have, everybody Everybody has graphene oxide. They have
Yes.
this graphene biosystem in them. Everybody has levels of these toxins. So yes, you can have a healthy life, which will slow it down. But our world now, fact of the matter is so polluted that we need MasterPeace. Okay. MasterPeace, other detox protocols out there, we know work. I've done them all too. A lot of them probably don't work, but we do know measurably through urinalysis, through intracellular electrical capacity test, which is the most leading edge nanotechnology test out there. They only have them in Germany and stuff. Uh, we know that out of all 80,000 forever chemicals, you have some of all of them in you. There is neurotoxins from World War I, such as phosgene and what they call vinyl dichloride, which is what was released in East Palestine. And when it burns, it becomes phosgene. You're talking about like atrazine, which is gender dysphoria chemicals. We tested for atrazine, the thing that made the male frogs, girl frogs, and
Yep.
we have several testimonials. One of them from my wife's very, very close lifelong friend, who's always been a boy girl, and she never really liked how uncomfortable her life was always harder because of it. She
Sure.
just wished she liked boys, and she's
Mm-hmm.
40 now, right? And after on her second bottle of MasterPeace, now she's in a absolutely terrible relationship with the first guy she's ever been with, and she's getting a good dose of how that works out. But the whole point is, got the atrazine out. Now look what happened. And so we're testing for atrazine. We're
Wow.
testing for things like plutonium, cesium-137, titanium dioxide. You're talking about really, we all know fluoride's bad for you. Do you know that there's 3 types of fluoride? We're testing for all 3.
I did not know that. And you know what? I'll interject that I'm going to push back on that. Actually, not everybody does know it's bad for you, Matthew. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I just tell you, I went to my dentist the other day to get a cleaning, and they said, "Oh, would you like a fluoride shot, rinse, whatever the hell, like to go?" I'm like, God, no. People are still doing that.
Well,
Like,
you ask the dentist too,
so
and they'll actually tell you there's never been a study that shown fluoride
right,
was bad. And they'll tell you that because that's literally how they're used to parroting. They think everybody, because everybody does go, okay, doc. But
yeah,
when I had my mercury fillings removed, that was one of the, after I got over the initial poisoning for a day, right? Because
that
it
happened to me
re-poisons
too.
you. It was so bad.
Right,
My
me
kids couldn't
too.
touch me.
Yep,
I
same.
had to keep the blanket underneath me, and I
I
was
thought
just
I was
taking
going
a
to
bunch of
die.
mass. Yes, I did too. It was
Oh my
horrible.
God.
This is the way it works. For a quick second, everybody picture being dropped off in the middle of the rainforest where no humans are at. And you're
Okay.
looking at all the animals and you're looking at all the, what I call the fauna and the flora, the vegetation and all living creatures. That system works harmonious and perfect, right? It's not screwed up. Well, this is how it gets screwed up. You put a human being in there with some ideas and you get them to try to capitalize on other people and start building stuff and start doing all this stuff that didn't ever need to be built before the Industrial Revolution. Everybody always had homes, everybody always ate food and stuff, but we didn't need trains, planes, and automobiles.
Yep.
Okay. We didn't need chemical factories making unnatural things. So the beautiful system in the rainforest and in the ecosystem in our world is not designed for chemicals that are man-made. So
Right.
every
Right.
time, now here's a big problem. Our world is run by money in a lot of ways. Shareholder,
Yeah.
okay. So people with money don't want other people to get their ideas. So they patent them. Okay, but it's against the, you can't patent something natural.
You can't patent nature.
Yeah, so I can't patent you unless I genetically modify you.
Right.
Now, I can't patent corn or the stuff on the shelf until I have my own genetically modified ingredients in it.
That's right.
Now, what does that do? That creates a system and a culture of unnatural, man made, man playing God, man playing creation, as I would say, techniques and things. And now it's just been accumulating. And so what we see across the board from people who take MasterPeace, okay? We all have heard of the third eye, right? Hopefully, the pineal gland, the thing that makes us feel connected, also has a lot to do with sleep. So, in the theory beforehand, that you would clear off your third eye. And they would say, oh, you're moving towards ascension, higher vibration, new age stuff, and a lot of other stuff. Stuff that may be true. It's hard to prove as of right now definitively, but probably has a lot of truth to it. Sure feels like it, right? Okay, but we do know this. When you actually do get the blood, see, the third eye outside of your heart and kidneys has more blood going through it than any of your other organs, different things. A lot of people don't know that. And it's
I
so
didn't know
small, like
that.
the size of a pea, right?
Yep.
So when that
Wow.
blood is dirty from fluoride and all that, that's why it's like a little system. It just collects it all. And
Yep.
once we're third eye blind, what you'll usually see is people won't be able to dream anymore. Or if they dream, it's almost never. They certainly wouldn't lucid dream or dream in colors. Uh, Remembering their dreams is almost, happens almost never when you're third eye blind. You see, especially, well, you see it in women too, but it's something that you'll probably see, you'll notice more in men, narcissistic stuff, a total disconnection and total forgetting that other people have feelings and matter kind of deal.
And out of touch with your intuition. Your
Yeah. Oh,
intuition is
totally. Oh, yeah,
offline.
totally.
Offline.
Totally.
Forget
Totally.
it.
Absolutely.
I mean, well, is this, Matthew, is this what people are talking about, the God chemical?
Well,
You heard that
I
term?
don't know. I don't know for sure. I haven't heard that term. If I have, I don't remember it.
Okay, I don't know the exact technical name. You probably know the technical name because you're a scientist, but I'll tell you that I've been hearing a lot about this intentionally screwing up the God. Oh no, the God gene. Excuse me, the God gene. That they're
Okay.
intentionally, short circuiting the God gene, so we don't have our own connection to our higher source and power, which has
Yeah.
to do with the fluoride, which has to do with the dumbing down of the pineal gland, because that's our direct access.
Yes. Yeah. They totally, um, we know that they want a population that is less and that is more controllable and probably just really happy to be alive. So, let's say if they pull off what they think they can pull off and 6 billion people die next year,
Yeah.
the people that are left alive are going to be pretty happy they're just alive,
Yeah.
and willing to just do what they need to, massa, just happy to
Yeah.
be here. And so we, so live blood analysis experts that use microscopes called dark field or bright field microscopy, and they analyze blood. And after 2021, you can't find a live blood analysis. Now they're taking their own blood a lot of times, right? They're
Yeah.
in there playing with their microscope. None of them and none of their people. It's considered impossible now to have blood that's clean that doesn't have these construction sites in them, no matter how crazy this sounds, right? So it's a
You're in the
computer
world.
system. It's like,
Yeah.
right. So
I mean,
here's
it's
our
being
bizarre
sprayed in the air.
sci-fi,
Yeah.
right? But we can't run from this, right?
Yeah.
So nobody's smarter than everybody else because our collective has got us here. All right.
Yep.
Maybe you're smarter than someone else, but you didn't stand up. So you're just as
Yep.
liable.
Yep.
All right. So we have to look at how does it work? What is it? So that we know what we need to get out of the body.
Yes.
In this graphene biosystem, when I was just trying to make a detox product that I thought needed to be created because after 2020, no matter how healthy people were,
Yep.
it seemed like everybody's health was sliding down. No
True.
matter what things weren't
Including
working.
me. Yes, I'm a professional. I've been doing it my whole life. Yes.
Right.
So
And
that's
the
exactly
same
right.
stuff that always, the juicing and the little
Yep.
things that always was plenty enough
That's right. Didn't
are
work
new.
anymore. Yep.
Right. Now, here's the reason. When we're talking about nanotechnology and things that are nanometer size, right? Remember 20 years ago when it started? Now these toxins are so small.
Yep.
Now they're inside of your cells.
Yep.
How does that different? Why is that? Because you can't get them out. And this is why they're stuck. It's called trapped forever chemicals. And this is why they're called trapped forever chemicals. Because forever chemicals, 99% of them, heavy metals included, certainly graphene oxide, certainly aluminum. The two super threats is graphene oxide and aluminum. Okay.
Yeah.
Without those two things in the body, you cannot have a MAC address. You can't become paramagnetic, and you can't become transhumanism by force, which is what they're trying to do. The reason is because we are in a soup of electromagnetic energy.
Yep.
So someone wants to call you, they call your phone, it finds you wherever you're at in the world in a second. Well, guess what? You have an energy signature too. And so if they want to find you in the world, they have us in an electromagnetic field that, and when we have graphene oxide and aluminum and heavy metals and forever chemicals inside of us, we are paramagnetic to it. We are responding to it. They control those electromagnetic waves, which means they control us because we can't get away from it. Now we got the Wi-Fi, the 5G, the 4G, the 3G. You got the radio waves, the infrared waves, the microwaves, right?
And they're invisible, so people don't even know this is happening. It's like it's like, does a fish know it's in water? No, it's like we're in this and we don't even know we're in it. And I'm sorry to interject, but this is you're saying it so perfectly, Matthew, because it's something I try to articulate to people and I don't have the words to do it like you are. And it's like these things are influencing you and you wonder why. Like you said, you're not dreaming. You're out of touch with your intuition. You have a skin rash that doesn't go away. You have memory loss. You can't focus. You feel like you got ADD, depression. Like, what's wrong with me? I'm eating well. I'm exercising. Like, you don't understand why your body isn't working right. Well, maybe because it's literally not working right because it's mucked up. It's like, how good would your car work if it had like a rag stuck in like the carburetor? You know, it's like something stuck in there. You got to move it out.
And Dr. Robert O. Young, he's a gentleman that wrote the famous book, pH Miracle of Life, sold over 10 million copies.
Yep.
He was on Oprah Winfrey's show in the 90s when they tried to make him look terrible. 5 women with breast cancer, only one of them chose to do his protocol. She was the only one alive after 6 months. She lived another 15 years before dying of liver disease because she went back to alcoholism. Ooh. He always says this, and it's totally true. And people need to give this a chance and think about it, okay? You're not sick, everybody. Nobody's sick. You have been poisoned, okay? Yeah. Yes. There's 2 types of poisoning in the world, okay? You have radiation, which is electromagnetic, microwaves, 5G, things like that. And then you have chemical poisoning, which is what we've been talking about, the forever chemicals, heavy metals, man-made, unnatural, biohazardous toxins, environmental pollutants, okay? If you can learn to protect yourself from the bombardment of these EMFs, these 5Gs and all that with proper EMF stuff, which is very important. We should all be living with our stuff always. Don't ever get in a car and leave your home that has your device without having something in your car. Don't do that because you're going out into a cesspool of invisible waves that you are the only one that's going to be able to protect and love yourself and your body. And that stress, even if you're out of that stress for a while, stress is what causes aging, what causes degradation of things, oxidation, okay? So you want to always keep your EMF stuff. And then now we have the antidote and the solution to the pollution, at least in terms of human bodies, and we are verifying it with more and more evidence and studies and level 1, which means human studies, published peer-reviewed articles, which have never been done on products before, never even attempted, because people don't want to create a product and then have it not work because then they can't sell the product, or they could sell the product and they just have to keep it a secret, which is probably what's happened a time or two. People thought they had detox products, went to do a study, seen they didn't get favorable results, and then they slid them underneath the rug and kept on selling the products. I think that's happened quite a bit in our world. But if you will, let me get back to point, get these forever chemicals, these heavy metals, the aluminum, the lead, the mercury, okay? Of course, cadmium, barium, all those other, the fluoride, all those things. And guess what? There's a broad spectrum. There's a broad solution. And you don't have to wake up super early and do uncomfortable workouts. You don't have to implement anything new in your life. But after taking MasterPeace, you're probably going to feel so good you're going to be square with you. That's what kind of happens. Because guess what? When you start getting world-class sleep better than you can remember, because basically across the board, we hear from people, wow, I'm sleeping incredibly good. I don't know, but I know I'm sleeping real good. And then they're like, man, I've been dreaming. I haven't dreamed. I didn't even realize I didn't dream the last 20 years. You hear that from guys all the time.
Yes.
And when you wake up restful, you know, the Sleep Institute, it's a game changer. When you can hold presence, when you feel connected, when you can look at someone and if you key on them for more than a second and you have a natural duty and responsibility, knowing that what you say, what you feed them in terms of what your beliefs are, what comes out of your mouth, and your energy. You can just say that. How about that? Your energy.
100%.
When you affect things as much as they affect you, you live your life better and you affect people in your community. If you're in the grocery store more, if you have pets, if you have kids, if you got your partner, the whole thing, you start making the world better around you.
Amen.
And that's
Amen.
what MasterPeace does
You
for people.
got it. Mic drop. And I'm going to add that you become more sensitive in a good way. Like, for example, you and I connected to have you on the show. And although I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you live and in person, I could feel you through, the Zoom, the visual, and just, I don't know, energetically. And I got to tell you that my ability to sense things, my sensory perception, whatever you want to call that, is enhanced. And I did have it when I was a small child, and I lost it, and I've gotten it back. And
that's right.
one of my missions, Matthew, in my work is, one of the things that makes me so sad as a professional is people think feeling like crap is normal, right? Like it becomes the new normal, right? And they don't know they feel like crap because that's just how they've always felt. It's like they wake up every day, their back hurts, this and that, or they're in a bad relationship. Like when I was in a bad relationship and I got out of it and then I got in a good one, I didn't even know I was in a bad one because until I was in a good one. And I was like, wow, I didn't know a relationship could be. And that's the way health is. It's like, oh, I thought I was just getting older. I thought that was part of it. Oh my God, I have energy, I have this. So my point is to the audience, let's all take a pause and let's all wonder, when was the last time you were with someone, even digitally, like the way Matthew and I am, were you able to feel them? Like, were you able to feel just their energy level, their presence? Like, how did they feel to you? Did they feel solid? Did they feel centered? Did they feel scattered? Did they feel mad? Did they feel anxious? Whatever. Like, because most of us, and I'll say that was me, I'm not like Miss Superwoman because I've been on all the sides of it. I get it. I haven't always been that way. And I will say, when I'm not doing what I need to do to take care of myself, I don't feel it because I'm shut down. But my point is everybody, you can get turned on. You can bring these qualities back. These abilities are in you. They can come back online. And if you're not feeling them, then that's a big red flag that something is not running optimally. And I'm so glad that I found MasterPeace. This has been a great solution.
And what they want to label to us as these diseases we have, these are just symptoms of poisoning.
Yes,
okay?
True.
And so you say, and like for me, the little quirks I started off with would be like my middle bottom nails were like a little thicker. It's kind of, I don't know what, if you call it candida or I don't know, but I kind of noticed that. Oh my gosh, I had the world's worst prostate issues about Oh, it was, totally bad. And I'm 45 now, and hey, I'm a guy, so those things can happen. And I can tell you everything about my reproductive system has completely 50 times better than it's ever been in my life. I feel like maybe spent my younger years not real, so my body works far better than it ever than I knew that it could work, obviously, or did work when I was younger. But really, I didn't dream for like 20 years. I didn't realize that. And so now, like my family, when we wake up in the morning, because we all sleep in the same bed, we always talk about our dreams. So we all talk about our dreams, and it's funny because we don't have control of our dreams when we do it. So it's always fun.
And you have a
getting to
big
share that.
family. You have a big family too. That must be a big bed, Matthew.
the older kids are gone, but we got
okay. You got the baby. You got a 1-year-old
we got
daughter.
the two babies. Yep.
Yeah.
Little girl just turned 2, and a little boy that just turned 4. So
that's so nice.
we got a world that we better get cleaned up quick. So, now, and so I like these great, simple truths that we've gone over today. Because if we can understand that, yes, you want to have healthy life habits, but you are in a world and you are in a state of being that is being altered to some degree and controlled because you have these toxins inside of you. And if you give yourself a chance to take something that has a level 1, which means a human study. By the way, this has never been done before, published through ACTA Medical Scientific Journal for September of 2024. A initial pilot study that was referenced in this published peer-reviewed article done by Dr. Robert O. Young, who has done more published peer-reviewed studies than anybody alive on Earth. Pretty credible.
Yep.
And Carolyn Mansfield. And we have shown that, get this, out of 60-year-old people, and if you take 12 months out of a year times 60 years, that's about 720 months. I hope I'm right. I think I am. So that means a person's been alive over 700 months. And then in less than 3 months, where we're taking their intracellular blood levels, that's, I mean, there's no running from that, right? That's, we're looking for the toxins there. We got out over 80% of their lifetime accumulated toxins. So in less than a 0.5% of their life. So in 3 months, less than 3 months of the 700 plus months they've been alive, when they took MasterPeace, because they spent their whole life getting toxins, and then they only took MasterPeace. So now I want to have just a really crazy, quick 1 second think. So if we're a lot like our environment, and our environment's a lot like us, right? We're all connected and kind of the same. So if all the problems in the world stemmed from bad thinking and, humans might for greed. So if we improve their thinking a little bit, because really when you start feeling good, it's really kind of hard to hurt people and disregard things. You can't just go cutting down a bunch of rainforest when you feel so good. It really makes it a lot harder to do carnage. So then you do that. Well, what happens if we know the world's been poisoned, knowingly, unknowingly, and everything else? We live in a real bad world that needs a lot of cleanup. Well, what happens if we could clean the world up in 0.5% time as what it took them to poison it? So if it's been poisoned now with these man-made chemicals for over 200, just over 200 years,
we don't have 200 more years. We need to do it.
We could clean it up. We could clean it up in one if we had to.
Wow!
If you sprayed MasterPeace out of the dispensers instead of chemicals, if you sprayed MasterPeace trails, just have a thought. Just think about it. You start spraying the skies with the antidote and the solution as you're feeding it into the people, and you're feeding it now into animals, because now we have MasterPeace for pets. And guys, we're not seeing this. We're not talking about just we're talking about something that's more provable through science and analysis and evidence. If you can think of a way that something can be proved, we're doing it. We put all of our time, energy, and effort into it because we want people to know there's a safe and truly efficient way to, and the detoxing is less than what you're going to experience. If you do hardcore liver cleanses with Epsom salts, or if you do, a lot of detoxes, you'll kind of get a Herxheimer. It's not always perfectly comfortable to get out these to heal.
Putting it mildly, yes. You feel like you're dying.
Getting well, you're not getting sick, you're getting well, right? So you're upgrading. And but MasterPeace is as gentle as it gets. Very few people say that it's that. There's only 2 ingredients in MasterPeace. Okay. If you go out there and you start looking at all the different alternative holistic ways to do detoxing and stuff, you will run across a pretty good group of people that are trying to do a smear campaign against MasterPeace. And that's going to be unavoidable. It's going to be unavoidable by big
that means
pharma.
It works. That means you're on the map.
Yeah, it means there's stuff. Yeah, it makes their products obsolete. And that's the way they want to handle their lives. And that's the way they want to spend their time, making fraudulent, inaccurate, highly illogical videos that preys on people's ignorance instead of them doing a hair of research to see better. But we're running into that with the FDA. They're seizing our stuff. They seized $70,000 in purified ocean water. Now let's get this.
I was wondering about that.
The part of the world where sea turtles that live to be 300 years old. So if we have a creature in the world that's living to be 300, we better figure out where the heck they're doing, what they're doing. What's this thing doing?
Yep.
Right. Okay. So they migrate to the same place every year. Up in Ibiza, Formentera, it's a famous protected place by Spain. Okay.
Okay.
So where we take in a perfect structured spot the marine plasma, which is the healthiest waters on earth. It has
Yep.
every single mineral in your body in its most bioavailable, nutrient-rich state. So we took that stuff, $70,000 of it. That's one of the main ingredients. And FDA seized it and called it a drug, and they wouldn't give it back. Then we've had Health Canada. We've had customs in so many places. We've had, from a 1-year-old company created by a bunch of do-gooders trying to change the world. That means we're barking up the right trees. That means we're flying over the right targets.
That's right.
And
you're on the map.
No one around has heard of a product getting attacked the way we're getting attacked. But we got the truth on our side, and we have two of the most natural substances on earth. You have a natural lava mineral that after it comes out as lava at 2,000 degrees and meets the ocean water, it's a beautiful natural chemical process that happens, and it makes the most magnetically charged mineral on earth called the master binder, which is zeolite, clinoptilolite. And now here's a funny thing, guys. You want to talk about natural zeolite.
Yeah.
If you look at the Greek islands or anywhere else where there's a ton of zeolite, zeolite's everywhere in the world. It's very, very abundant.
Because it's volcanic material, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's been a lot of volcanoes where the lavas hit the ocean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have an abundant resource that's affordable. Ocean water is pretty affordable too. So there's no reason to charge people a ton of money for this stuff, right? That's why a bottle lasts about 45 days and costs just over $50. So it's very affordable. It's $1 a day for people to be able to improve their health and allow to get these unnatural things out of the way so you can see what your body's actually capable of. Because
I love it. Yes.
You don't understand and you have no concept of your highest version because you've been poisoned. And once you get them out, you realize the best person you can be. And I'm talking about, first off, mentally, emotionally.
Yes.
Then we get into what's more important, like spiritually. And don't even worry, the physical thing's going to take care of itself. Most people that depoison themselves, and we're going to need to depoison ourselves until the world is cleaned up, because every breath you take, you're taking it back in. When we're taking the blood levels of these toxins, they start off really high in people, and it's scary. It's actually tops off the machine a lot of times. So a lot of times they have so much graphene or glyphosate in their body that it's above what the machine can make. So you're like, oh my gosh. And then after about 35 days, where we took the initial test, we'll see a huge drop off where it's really improved. The levels are way under half what they were in 1 month. And then but you keep taking them in. So by the time the numbers get lower and lower and they're tracking down, then you could have a month where they go up a little bit and down, because you're not going to ever get them all the way out of your body until the world's cleaned up, until the environment, until everything, they're still going to make their way into the food. See, we don't have organic crops because those organic crops are grown where air hits them. It's the air that's polluted and everything else.
Yep.
So there's no such, they may practice organic farming practices, but if you test those vegetables, they're going to have aluminum and everything else in them still.
That's because there's an atmosphere that people have to understand. I heard Dr. Ibrahim Karim, of the founder of Biogeometry, say, we are not on the earth, we're in the earth.
Yeah.
We have to include the atmosphere as part of the earth. So when things in the clouds and things that go up and, the clouds
nuclear
pass
radiation
over,
fallouts.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the clouds that were in China are now over California a month later, and it's like it's raining down. And so it's like, to your point, it's like, okay, I could be in my little, raised bed garden doing my little biodynamic, organic, regenerative farm thing, but it's getting rained on, as am I, so.
You can take, they've done humic acid and fulvic acid combinations for soil for a long time.
Okay.
Works. There's a little bit of science. I don't want to get into it because I know a lot of people, it's much better than nothing. Zeolite's a lot better. It won't dissolve it down. It will simply neutralize it and make it inert. Where humic acid, when you dissolve something down, it doesn't mean it goes away.
Okay, yeah.
it means it
Well,
gets smaller.
isn't yours, well, from what I understand, there, because zeolite, there, I have another source of zeolite, but your product is unique from what I understand. Correct me if I'm wrong, because it's actually a nano size, which just everybody means very, very small. It's like just a
Right, right.
technical term for teeny tiny, right? So your zeolite, from what I understand, is so, so small, it actually is able to get into those cells, and then it acts as a binder. So what I love about the MasterPeace is you're going in to effectively take out the toxins, but you're also putting in nutrition with the
Yes,
marine plasma. So this is a very unique game changer. It's
it's a
giving you back.
complete game
Yeah,
changer in the
yeah,
world. It's never been done before.
yeah,
And so let's go right back to the old conversation of you can't patent anything that's natural, but
exactly.
you also can patent a formula process, a
Okay,
process.
good.
And so what we did, we didn't want evil people. Okay, so you don't want someone who can be bought out to bring out an antidote, right? So
Yes.
if someone could pay me $100 million and I would just give it up and they'd go sweep it underneath the rug, they'd love to do that. They'd love
And they've done
to
that. They've done that
at
many, many.
everything before. Yeah,
Sure.
they'd
Yeah.
love to um,
Pay
wave,
off. Yeah.
power, whatever to trip a guy's head up. And so, but you don't want to have something that can be misused, watered down, make a knockoff of it, go
Yes.
sell the knockoff a little bit less. The knockoff doesn't work at all. They
Yes.
basically shun it. So we had to trademark and copyright and patent the formula process. Why? Because it's the most amazing process ever, anyways. And what we do is we learn from Mother Earth how Mother Earth cleans up its body. Guess what? Mother Earth has a fever and it gets hot
Yep.
and it releases it breaks its fever by releasing lava. What does the
Or
lava do?
a forest fire, like
Yeah,
the heat.
a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but from internal, yeah, I can see that
Heat. Yep.
totally. But when the world goes into a volcanic eruption, there is all kinds of indicators beforehand because the world shows stress. Now, when that happens, it goes into the ocean water and makes the clinoptilolite. We replicate that process as we make the clinoptilolite the perfect small nano and sub nanometer size, so even smaller than nano,
Wow.
so that it can go everywhere in the water and that your body is 99% water molecules. So you are water. So where is the cleanest waters on earth to learn from? Right by zeolite beds, because the zeolite takes all the impurities. If you go check the ocean water by any zeolite beds, there's no heavy metals in it. It's the cleanest ocean water. Now,
Wow.
where do you go get the most structured and highly nutrient rich ocean water? Not at zeolite beds, but in marine plasma, where you have the thume and the phytoplankton. So we
Yep.
take the most bioavailable nutrient rich substance, which is mineral ions that are so small that you can't even see them with an electron microscope. The most advanced equipment on Earth still can't see how small they are. It's that amazing. So you take those perfect marine plasma, all the minerals, all the antioxidants, all the essential fatty acids, everything you can imagine, unmodified RNA, it's all in there. And that's 99% of the formula. And it's with the zeolite. So it goes into the body. The zeolite grabs the most positively magnetically charged things in your body, which are all
Yep.
poisons, by the way.
Because we
There's
have too
nothing that,
much positive.
yeah,
It's out of balance with the
yeah,
negative. Yep.
right. We're supposed to be negative charged beings. We're supposed to have a charge of negative 7.83 hertz, the same as the Schumann resonance. Guess what? Guess what animals, guess what charge they have? What they're connected to? They're connected to Mother Earth. Now we
Mm.
know she has a Schumann resonance. So that's the electrical charge that living creatures are all supposed to have. Now we don't. We also know that the Schumann resonance is going up, and they say, oh, the planet's ascending. And I would say more like the planet's under a lot of stress because it's forever been at 7.83 and it needs to be there. It needs to stay there. We're not meant
Right.
to be at a high charge, low charge, high charge. You see the Schumann resonance and the Earth's going,
Yeah.
and we're
It's
like, oh, look, yeah, we're
it's
having a good day.
reacting. Yep.
Yeah, it's like, no, that
Yep.
means it's stress. So we have two natural ingredients in MasterPeace. Synergistically, when they come together the way they do, One, the zeolite, again, the most magnetically negative charged mineral on Earth.
Which is
so it's going to obviously magnetically find, trap, neutralize the charge of the graphene oxide, aluminum, and other poisons, and then escort it out of the body. Why does it escort it out of the body? Because zeolite is 100% completely indigestible to your body. So when it goes in, it simply goes in for 4 to 6 hours, finds what it can find with its negative charge, and leaves your body safely.
Yeah, it's a binder. Yep. And
Yep.
then you got
So
the
we have
marine plasma that delivers the nutrition, pops it right in there and replace.
Yep. It's quadruple
Brilliant.
structured, and the formula, everything in the formula by itself is structured individually. Then altogether, the formula is structured twice again.
Wow.
It's infused with biophotons. It's a labor of love for humanity like we've never seen. This thing is it tastes like seawater.
Yep.
You need 10 drops a day. All the results that we quote on anywhere, which is a safe number, just say 80% of all the toxins in your body we've shown, for what we've tested, which, you test for one microplastic, you should show what they all are, because there's like 4,300 microplastics. Well, we're not going to test for 4,300. We're going to test for the two main ones and know it's probably working on the rest. So when you can't find a lab that tests for 4,300.
And counting.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I would say for $1 a day, what do you do in your life? Why don't you find out how good you can feel with 80% less toxins in your body? I think you're worth it. I think all of us are worth it. I think that's the way we should think. I think that we should all wake up and wonder and realize, well, the world is never going to love me more than I love myself. I'm never going to be able to accept more love than what I'm giving myself. And your health is your wealth, especially in today's world. And these are unique times. And so we have a unique solution. The the expert formulators that mentored me and guided me on this process did this absolutely for humanity, to help humanity. And I believe the intention that the team that is involved with human consciousness support has proven every decision we've made, is that this thing is for all of us. And hey, we're doing a trial on autistic children in West Malaysia. We have 8 autistic children.
Right.
And going well. Only been going on for a week, already getting very good, freakishly good results from a couple parents we're hearing. Kids are acting different than they've ever acted, actually. Both of them basically said the calmness, I guess. Sleep is already improving in them. But you got to understand, kids with autism have a huge level of accumulated intracellular toxins. So it takes a little bit longer, but we're already seeing some good there. We have 250 autistic children in the Cherokee Nation we're about to be starting with.
Wonderful.
And so, writing all that stuff for free because that's the way it should be. We should all be doing stuff like that anyways.
Well, let's talk about why you, as we come toward the end here, I got to ask you the name MasterPeace. The people that are listening to the audio, you might be watching on YouTube, Awakening Aphrodite on YouTube. But if you're listening to the audio, peace is spelled P-E-A-C-E, as in peace be with you, as opposed to P-I-C-E.
Right.
So I've been dying to ask you, Matthew, I didn't see it on your website. By the way, everybody, there's a wonderful tab on their website that has a ton of the science if you want to go look it up. So speaking of your website. Why?
And we're not talking about science like little pictures underneath a microscope, which anybody can name stuff. We're talking about third-party lab testing with the most leading cutting-edge technology, videos going over the aluminum graphene oxide results from a published. The study now is a level 1, which is human study, published peer-reviewed study. It's the highest level of scrutiny that you get.
There you go. And like you said, it's peer-reviewed and it's level 1 and it's next level. It's independent, as opposed to most science these days, which is the very companies that are making the products are running the tests saying they're fine. So hats off to you.
Not backed by a billionaire. It was
exactly.
It was backed by a guy who just had an idea to try to come up with something to make an answer for something that needed to be, and it cost him $10,000 of the first $11,000 he ever seen back from that investment. He put right back into that study so that we could prove this thing out. And if it would have came back bad, then that whole year and a half that we all put into it would have been for naught, because we would have hung it up.
Yeah.
But we, so it's a little bit, the intention behind this is we're role modeling how we all need to be thinking a little lot more in our world today if we're going to make it through. Yeah.
Well, what I love in this show, I am dedicated ever since 2020 when the world went nutso, was to really, really focus on solutions. Because I got to tell you too, I listen to a lot of different podcasts to get my information and education from sources I trust and are reputable. And lately I've just had to just stop listening, to be frank with you, because it's just so much always like, oh God, now what are we finding out today? And it's like I had to kind of take a break because I started getting anxious, and like it was changing the way my whole energy field, I was, the whole deal. So my point is I made a vow to myself, like, okay, I'll listen to a little bit of that, but I'm going to really control and have discipline and moderation and what I expose myself to, because that's toxic to my being.
Yeah, you better watch how you're feeding yourself. That's right.
That's exactly
Mentally,
right. So
watch
I
who's in your
have to
bubble.
focus on solutions. So my show is dedicated to really solutions, which to land this plane and bring everybody home, which is why I'm so glad to be a big, big fan of MasterPeace. That's why I had you on the show, because this is the solution, everybody. I hope if you're still with us here toward the end, it means you're like, okay, so how do I fix it? Well, here it is. But before you tell us how we find it, you got to answer that question. Why PACE? Or did you answer it indirectly?
No, I didn't. So, I like to do my thinking in the middle of the night, walking barefoot naked, so I don't have my clothes messing up my frequency and stuff.
That's
And
smart. Good. I like that idea.
kind of helps you with your instincts too, because that's where So, anyways,
Yeah, I
I
like
knew
that
one
idea.
night, it just came to me, and the company needed to be called Human Consciousness Support, because that's what it was going to do, and it was going to help humans to master peace. And so the
That's
way to
great.
master peace,
Great.
I think one of the ugliest things that you would look at if you were looking at animals, right? And say you were just an observer and you've seen an ant farm and these ants turned on themselves and killed each other sometimes.
Yep.
And what if you're like, wow, these people do intertribal warfare. They kill each other.
Yep.
Well, humans have been in war since World War II, more so than ever in history. And we have to agree first things first to bring on peace. We need world peace, because our consciousness, human consciousness, and the science of consciousness, and to try to say it in one sentence, consciousness runs parallel. Consciousness will never be able to go up without peace. When peace happens, no matter what else, consciousness will go up. But if we're killing each other for any reason, there's any reason why you decide another man's life shouldn't be around, then our consciousness can never improve in that type of way. And all the problems that we have on the world, which is a pretty good amount of them, it derived from unhealthy and sick human consciousness. And so that's why we named the product and the company that. And so we have a really neat logo. It's actually the correct peace sign. The old peace sign that people see, if you look it up, it's called the Death Rune, and it actually came out after World War II. And I would say this: if you thought that peace sign worked, then you don't know anything about the world. The old peace sign that we all thought was the peace sign, the Death Rune, obviously wasn't helping anybody with feeling love and peace, because our world was in a shambles. So our logo is the human biofield inside of the correct peace sign.
Wow.
So that's the human biofield inside of the correct peace sign. And consequently, the doctor that actually speaks on behalf of MasterPeace, usually Dr. Robert O. Young, he is the very first person in the world to write a peer-reviewed paper on the human biofield back in 1995.
Wow. I'm so glad I asked you that. I never would have guessed that answer. That's such a great answer. And a great mission, a great man, a great company, a great product. Like I mentioned in the intro, everybody, I've been taking this now for months. I gave it to my dogs. I gave it to my chickens. I think you gave me a great idea. I might spray it on my garden. I don't know. I'm going to
Should.
figure it out. I'm going to give it to my
I'll show you
plants.
how to do it after the show.
Oh, please do. And it's like, and it's gentle and it works. And, you know, get ready for your dreams to come online. Get ready for your body to start working better. I can't wait for you to try it.
Joints, inflammation, weird
Yeah,
skin stuff. A lot of people talk about their vision
vertigo.
getting better. You know, whatever disease you think you had and however you thought it became part of you, it had to do with poisoning. And when you depoison your body on a broad spectrum effectively, which you will do when you start taking MasterPeace, you're about to find out what it feels like to holistically be your best, to really feel great. I know that for me, everybody I know, all of our healths have completely overhauled and changed. And if you have anything wrong with your body or anything at the time, or if you have any stress, you automatically, oh my gosh. And then I realized, well, I used to have 30 things wrong. So
Yep.
I can't say that I'm not feeling good that day because one thing ain't perfect, because
Yep.
that's what I believe a lot of our health should naturally be like.
Yes, I agree. And what I would recommend to people is if and when you do try it, make a note to yourself of all your ailments, even the ones you think might not be
Yes,
physically related, like emotionally, whatever. Do yourself a favor, write them down the day you start MasterPeace, because you're going to want to look back after a few months or whatever, and you'll forget because you'll start feeling amazing or whatever. Those things will have gone away, and you would have forgot that that's how you used to feel.
that's
So
right.
that's a good little
That's
little
right.
side note. So everybody, you can find it on my website, amyfournier.com. It's in the show notes. You go to the website e-store tab, go to the recommended products. You'll see MasterPeace right there. And you also have Master Restore, which I have as well. It's a little supplemental powder that you can take with it. But any other final words on how people can find their own?
So our system, we knew we were never going to be able to get MasterPeace out with big box stores or anything helping us.
Yeah.
I also didn't want to develop some fancy MLM system because I don't even know how to get in my own emails half the time. And so I didn't want to have a system where people had no idea if they were getting their proper contribution and whatnot, but I also didn't want to have an MLM. So what we are, you can't just go to the website and order MasterPeace. The reason is because we want to give the right person credit. So wherever the person finds out about MasterPeace from, they just need to touch whatever link is provided. There always is going to be a link. Touch that. There is no obligation. There's no membership fees. You don't have to buy every month. You don't have to involve. If you go make an account and you forget that you do it and never do anything again, nothing's going to happen. You're not going to get bombarded with emails.
You
Not a
don't get
system like that,
charged anything
right?
unless you
There's no
actually.
catch of any type. There's no catch that you can think of. There's no catch created. So once you create your account, um, we want you to learn more. We want you to read about the study, and we want you to learn about the actual world you're in. And it's all on the website. It's really neat. So
Yes.
find the link,
Easy, easy.
touch it, and you'll have a real simple sign up. That'll take you 30 seconds, your name,
Yeah.
email. Once you accept the terms and conditions and accept and go in, you can order. And if for any, once you're going to be feeling great, a whole lot of you are going to order MasterPeace. And just like the normal humans we are, you'll probably run out of your first bottle before ordering another bottle because you start getting used to how good you feel. And so then you'll run out, and people do that for about a week or two, and they start feeling the stuff kind of start to come back on them. And then they're like, hold on, something's wrong. Oh, yeah, I need my MasterPeace. And so they reorder MasterPeace. So in our system, whoever, we want to make sure the right person gets credit. And, you know, so your health is definitely your wealth. I know I said it earlier. Uh, I'm excited. I'm excited because as we are now in over 70 countries, we have over 5,000 testimonials. And
Wow.
basically, across the board, what we hear about is things that people have been dealing with their whole life, that they've tried everything that they could ever think of to do. And all of a sudden, 10 drops a day of MasterPeace, and they don't have those problems in their life anymore. And I'm not saying by any means it would be a false claim to do that, that everything that you can write down about your health is going to be 100%. You're going to have some things that are
Yeah.
100%. You're going to have a lot of things to a very noticeable, measurable degree that are going to improve in your life. And our world is going to be a better place after you do that.
Amazing. Matthew Hazen, thank you so much for coming on the show. Everybody, again, that's in the show notes. Of course, you can find it on my website, Amy Fournier. And honestly, I can't wait to hear how it goes for you trying MasterPeace and all of us getting online to be part of the solution to bring in the new world. We'll see you next time on Awakening Aphrodite, everybody. Thank you so much. Would you like to support my mission to help empower people all over the world to be all of who they truly are? If so, please subscribe to the show, leave a review on iTunes, and share it with a friend. And if you're looking to take immediate action to align your energy and optimize your health, visit amyfournier.com. Thanks for listening to Awakening Aphrodite. Let's awaken her together in you. I'm your hostess, Amy Fournier, and I already can't wait to be with you again and for you to hear what I have planned for the next show.
Thanks for listening to Awakening Aphrodite with Amy Fournier. To learn more about Amy, check out her website, amyfournier.com. That's amyfournier.com. You can also check out Amy's live and on-demand virtual fitness and yoga classes, and sign up for her newsletter to receive a free mini ebook of 3 of her top tips for making holistic health a lifestyle. Again, that's amyfournier.com. and get your ebook sent to your email immediately. Connect with Amy on the daily on Instagram at FitAmyTV, FITAMYTV, and watch many of the podcast episodes and subtopic clips on her YouTube channel, which is also FitAmyTV. Enjoy, and we'll see you next time on Awakening Aphrodite.